Level 1, the marksman. Before you're a sniper, you're an infantryman. MOS 11B. You joined at 18 or 19 and you went through basic training and advanced individual training, and you learned to shoot the M4 carbine the way every soldier learns to shoot the M4 carbine, which is competently but not exceptionally. The difference between you and the man next to you at the range is that something in you responds to the rifle the way a musician responds to an instrument, not the violence of it, the precision, the relationship between breath and trigger finger, and the small, specific discipline of putting a round exactly where you intended it to go. You qualify expert. Then you qualify expert again. Your platoon sergeant notices. He doesn't say much. He watches you at the range the way a scout watches a prospect. Not the score, but the temperament. Are you patient? Are you calm under stress? Can you do math in your head? Can you lie still for a long time without losing focus? These are not questions anyone asks you out loud. They are assessed through observation because the qualities that make a sniper are not qualities you can test on a form. They are behaviors. You score 87 or higher on your ASVAB. Your GT score is 100 or above. Your vision is 20 over 20 or correctable to 20 over 20. Your record is clean. No substance abuse, no disciplinary actions, no history that suggests you would be a liability with a precision weapon, and a mandate to use it autonomously. Your commander recommends you for sniper school. You are an E3 or E4 or E5. You've been in the Army long enough to know what you're volunteering for, and not long enough to understand what it will cost. You pack your bag for Fort Moore, Georgia, which used to be called Fort Benning, and you report to Building 4882 at Harmony Church, and your training begins. Level 2, the student. The U.S. Army Sniper Course is 7 weeks long. Approximately 300 soldiers attend each year. Between 1/3 and 1/2 of them fail. Shooting is only 20% of the course. The other 80% is fieldcraft, camouflage, concealment, stalking, observation, range estimation, target detection, terrain utilization, and the particular discipline of remaining invisible in an environment where trained observers are actively looking for you. Your first week is a physical assessment that confirms everything your unit already tested. Push-ups, sit-ups, a 2-mile run in under 16 minutes and 18 seconds, a psychological evaluation, the MPI and CPI, administered under the direction of a qualified psychologist, because the military needs to know that you can handle isolation, extended stillness, and the specific mental burden of killing a man you've watched through a scope for hours, sometimes days, before pulling the trigger. You build your ghillie suit by hand, burlap strips tied to netting attached to a flight suit or coverall. You drag it through mud. You weather it. You attach local vegetation so that you don't just blend into the environment, but become part of it. The ghillie will reach internal temperatures of 120 degrees Fahrenheit in Georgia, summer heat, and you will wear it for hours, crawling through bug-infested terrain with 110 pounds on your back, and you will not move faster than the vegetation around you, because movement is the primary target indicator, and a single wrong movement ends your stalk. The stalking lanes are where most students fail. You are given a sector of terrain and a distant target, an instructor with binoculars and a spotting scope. You must approach to within range, set up a final firing position, and fire 2 shots without being detected. If the instructor sees you, you fail. If the sun catches your barrel, you fail. If your ghillie doesn't match the terrain behind you, you fail. Level 3, the graduate. You passed. You receive ASIB-4, Additional Skill Identifier, Sniper. Your name goes on a short list. Fewer than 300 soldiers per year earn this designation across the entire U.S. Army. You return to your unit, and you are assigned to the battalion sniper section, which in an infantry battalion consists of 4 to 6 two-man teams. You are the junior member of a team. Your partner is a man who has done this before, one deployment, maybe two. He is your mentor and your teacher, and for the first months of your assignment, your job is not to shoot. Your job is to learn the spotter's craft. The spotter is not the sniper's assistant. The spotter is the sniper's brain. You carry the spotting scope, the rangefinder, the advanced ballistic calculator, and the dope book, data on previous engagements, which contains every shot your team has ever taken, including distance, elevation, wind speed and direction, temperature, humidity, altitude, ammunition, lot number, and result. You learn to read wind using physical indicators, mirage rising from heated ground, movement of grass and leaves, dust patterns, the angle of smoke. You learn to calculate bullet drop and drift at distances from 300 to 1,000 meters and beyond. You learn to call corrections in mels, fractions of angular measurement that translate the spotter's observation into the shooter's adjustment. Left 2/10, up 1, send it. A first round hit at 600 meters is the standard. A 90% first round hit rate is the expectation. The average soldier with an M16 hits a man-sized target 10% of the time at 300 meters. You're not an average soldier anymore. You are the most expensive round the military fires, not in dollars but in training hours. 17 cents per kill versus $23,000 per kill for the conventional infantryman in Vietnam. That ratio is what you represent. Level 4, the first deployment. You deploy to a combat zone, and everything you learned in the classroom and on the stalking lanes becomes real in ways that the classroom cannot simulate. The first difference is the heat, or the cold, or the altitude, or the dust, or all of them simultaneously. Afghanistan's Korangal Valley is not the pine forests of Georgia. Iraq's Ramadi is not a stalking lane with an instructor holding binoculars. The second difference is time. In training, a stalk takes hours. In combat, a sniper team may occupy a hide site for 24, 48, 72 hours. You lie in a position that you cannot leave. You urinate into a bottle. You defecate into a bag. You eat cold rations without moving your torso because movement is detection and detection is death. The third difference is the target. In training, the target is a silhouette. In combat, the target is a human being moving through a street or a field or a doorway. And the scope brings him so close that you can see the expression on his face and the color of his clothes, and whether he's carrying a weapon or a phone or a child, and the decision to fire or not fire happens in a space between heartbeats, and the rest of your life will be shaped by what you decide in that space. Your spotter calls the wind, you dial the elevation, you control your breathing, exhale, pause, natural respiratory pause, squeeze the trigger straight back with the ball of your finger. The rifle cycles, the spotter calls the impact. Hit, the man falls. The world does not change, the sun does not dim, the street continues. You work the bolt and scan for the next target, because the mission is not one shot. The mission is Overwatch. You are protecting the platoon below you, and the platoon does not know where you are. And that is exactly how it's supposed to work. Level 5, the experienced shooter. You've completed your first deployment. You rotate home. You go back to the range and you train. And the training is different now because you have a dope book with real data from real engagements, and the ballistic tables are no longer abstract numbers on a page. They are confirmed truths. You know what 7.62 NATO does at 800 meters in crosswind because you've seen it. You know what a .300 Winchester Magnum does at 1,000 meters at altitude because you've dialed it. You're the shooter now. A new soldier arrives at the sniper section, and he is your spotter, and you teach him the way you were taught, through patience and repetition, and the slow transmission of knowledge that cannot be written in a manual because it lives in the body and in the senses. You teach him to read mirage. You teach him to estimate range using the mil-dot reticle and the formula. Target size in meters times 1,000 divided by target size in mils equals distance in meters. You teach him that the hardest part of being a sniper is not the shot. The hardest part is the wait. The hours of stillness, the discipline of watching a sector for an entire day and seeing nothing and maintaining the same level of alertness at hour 12 that you had at hour 1, because the target will appear at hour 12, and if you're not ready, the target will kill the men you were sent to protect. You deploy again. The DOPE book thickens. The data accumulates. You are becoming something that the military values above almost everything else, a proven system. 2 men, 1 rifle, 1 spotting scope, a radio. A record of consistent, verified lethality measured in first-round hits and missions completed and lives saved, both the enemy killed and the friendlies who came home because you were watching from a rooftop or a hillside that nobody knew about. Level 6, the team leader. You are an E6 now, staff sergeant. You lead a sniper team, which means you are responsible for mission planning, route selection, hide site selection, communication with the supported unit, and the decision to engage or not engage. The decision to engage is the weight you carry that civilians never understand and that the movies always simplify. The rules of engagement are specific and they change depending on the theater and the operation and the political climate, and you must know them precisely because a wrong shot, a shot that kills a civilian, a shot that kills a friendly, a shot that kills a man who is holding a shovel and not a weapon, ends careers, ends lives, and ends the trust that the infantry places in you. You brief your commander before every mission. Target area, duration, primary and alternate hide sites, extraction plan, communication schedule, expected threats, rules of engagement. The commander approves the mission and you take your team into the field and you are alone. 2 men in a landscape full of people who want to find you and who will kill you if they do. The loneliness of sniping is not romantic, it is operational. You are effective because you are invisible, and you are invisible because you are alone, and the aloneness is the price of the effectiveness. Carlos Hathcock crawled 1,500 yards over 3 days to shoot a North Vietnamese general. 3 days. Moving inches at a time, no food, no water, alone in the grass, with enemy patrols passing within feet of his position. He took the shot at 700 yards, confirmed the kill, and melted back into the terrain like he was never there. That is what this level asks of you. Not always. Not on every mission, but sometimes. And you must be ready for the sometimes, because you will not know which mission is the sometimes until you're in it. Level 7, the senior sniper. You've done 3 or 4 deployments. Your dope book is a document that other snipers study because it contains data from engagements across multiple theaters, multiple weapons systems, multiple environmental conditions. You shoot the M24 sniper weapon system in 7.62 NATO. You shoot the M110 semi-automatic sniper system in the same caliber. You shoot the M2010 enhanced sniper rifle in .300 Winchester Magnum, which extends your effective range beyond 1,200 meters. You shoot the M107 Barrett in .50 BMG, which is an anti-materiel rifle that can disable vehicles, detonate unexploded ordnance from a safe distance, and engage targets at distances exceeding 1,800 meters. You've also trained on foreign weapon systems, the L115A3, the Accuracy International, the SACO TRG, because special operations snipers work in environments where flexibility in weapons platforms is a tactical necessity. Each weapon has its own ballistic profile, its own DOPE, its own personality and the way it responds to atmospheric conditions and ammunition lots. You know them the way a surgeon knows instruments by feel, by memory, by the sound they make when they function correctly. You are asked to teach. The Army assigns you as an instructor at the sniper course at Fort Moore, or your battalion assigns you to run the internal sniper training program, or you are selected for an advanced course, the Special Forces Sniper Course, the MARSOC Advanced Sniper Course, where the distances are longer, the fieldcraft is more demanding, and the missions are more complex. You are building the next generation. Hathcock did this after Vietnam. He helped establish the Marine Corps Scout Sniper School at Quantico. The men he trained went on to train the men who trained you. The lineage is unbroken and specific. Every sniper in the American military descends professionally from a handful of men who codified the doctrine and passed it forward. Level 8, the legend. This is where the numbers live, and the numbers are cold. Simo Heiha, Finnish farmer, Winter War, 1939. Iron-sighted Mosin Nagant rifle. No scope. He refused one because the glint would reveal his position. 505 confirmed kills in fewer than 100 days. 5 kills per day average. The Soviets called him the White Death. They sent counter-snipers to find him. The counter-snipers did not return. He was shot in the face with an explosive round and survived. He lived to 96. Vasily Zaitsev, Stalingrad, 1942. 225 confirmed kills during the battle. 400 estimated total. He trained over 30 snipers who went on to record thousands of additional kills. Carlos Hathcock, Vietnam. 93 confirmed kills, an estimated 300 to 400 unconfirmed, because confirmed kills required an officer present as witness, and officers weren't always present. He once shot an enemy sniper through the man's own scope. Chris Kyle, Iraq. 160 confirmed kills. The most lethal sniper in American military history. 4 tours. The insurgents called him the Devil of Ramadi. He was murdered in 2013 at a shooting range in Texas by a fellow veteran suffering from PTSD. Craig Harrison, British Army, Afghanistan, 2009. 2 confirmed kills at 2,475 meters, approximately 1.5 miles, using an L115A3 long-range rifle. At that distance, the bullet was in the air for approximately 6 seconds. 6 seconds during which the earth rotated, the wind shifted, the air pressure changed, and the target moved. At that distance, the shooter must account for wind, humidity, altitude, barometric pressure, temperature, the Coriolis effect, the rotation of the earth beneath the bullet's flight path, and the curvature of the earth itself. The mathematics alone would fill a textbook. Harrison did it in a combat zone under fire. These men are not normal snipers. They are the statistical extremes. But every sniper trains as if he might become one of them, because the standard is not competence. The standard is perfection. Level 9, the aftermath. You leave the military. Honorable discharge. You are 30 or 35 or 40 years old, and you have spent a decade looking through a scope at human beings and deciding which ones to kill, and you carry that decade in your body the way a boxer carries his career in his hands. The tinnitus from thousands of rounds fired, the joint damage from carrying 110 pounds of gear across mountains and through deserts, the back, always the back, from lying prone on hard surfaces for hours. And the other thing, the thing that doesn't show on a medical exam, the catalog of faces. You saw them through the scope at 10 times or 15 times or 25 times magnification, and at that magnification a man at 800 meters looks like a man at 50 meters, and you watched him before you killed him. You watched him drink water. You watched him smoke a cigarette. You watched him talk to someone you couldn't see. You watched him exist as a human being for minutes or hours, and then you pressed a trigger and he stopped existing, and you confirmed the kill with your spotter, and you recorded the data in your book, and you moved to the next target. The military taught you to depersonalize the target, to think in terms of threats and objectives and mission accomplishment. Some snipers do this successfully for an entire career. Others don't. The rate of PTSD among combat snipers is significant, because the intimacy of the kill, the proximity created by the optic, is unlike any other form of combat. An infantryman fires his rifle in the general direction of the enemy. A pilot drops a bomb from 30,000 feet. A sniper watches a man scratch his ear and then kills him. That specificity follows you home. Level 10, the cycle. Right now at Fort Moore, Georgia, a soldier is reporting to Building 4882 at Harmony Church. He's an E4, infantry. He qualified expert on the M4 3 consecutive times, and his platoon sergeant noticed, and his commander signed the recommendation, and he passed the psychological evaluation, and his GT score is 112, and his vision is 20/20, and he packed his ghillie suit materials and his boots that will be destroyed by the end of the course, and he's standing in formation with 45 other soldiers, most of whom will not graduate. He doesn't know yet what a stalking lane feels like at hour 4 in a ghillie suit in August in Georgia, when the internal temperature exceeds 120 degrees, and the insects are crawling inside the burlap, and his legs have been motionless for so long that he's not sure they'll work when he needs them. He doesn't know what a dope book becomes after 3 deployments. Not a document, but a diary written in numbers that describe the moments when he decided that specific human beings would stop being alive. He doesn't know about the faces. He doesn't know that the scope creates an intimacy with the target that no other weapon system produces, and that this intimacy is the thing the movies leave out because it cannot be filmed. He knows that he's a good shot. He knows that snipers are the most feared weapon on the battlefield. He knows the names, Hathcock, Kyle, Hi-Ha, the way a young boxer knows the names of champions. He doesn't know what the names cost. The trigger pull on the M24 is 3.5 pounds. That is the weight. Everything else is what comes after.